Bridgerton is huge right now. People absolutely love it, and so do we. And I think one of the reasons people love it, it's that gorgeous scenery, the amazing flowers. So we thought we would do a cake video where we show you how to do fresh flowers on a cake. In this tutorial, we show you how to raise the cake up, do this gorgeous wreath all around, and then on top, this kind of Bridgerton style, gorgeous massive flowers. And there are lots of hints and tips along the way. So let's get going. Let's start by talking about the flowers. As you can see, it looks like I'm in a florist today. I'm surrounded by these beautiful flowers, and I can tell you they smell amazing. I have got some peonies, some roses, and some alstroemerias, and all sorts here. There's one thing that's really important though when choosing flowers to put on a cake, and that is that they are non-toxic and they are free from pesticides. The best way around that is actually to go to your local florist, because they will be able to advise you. Not only that, they'll be able to tell you what's in season, and also when your flowers are in full bloom to get that perfect look on the cake. In addition though to all these lovely flowers here, I've got these. Now I actually picked these out of my garden. These are some herbs and some lavender. Oh, they just smell wonderful. Here, look, I've got some rosemary here, and I've got some mint and some other lavender here. Herb gardens were really big during Regency times, so this is very Bridgerton-esque. But again, make sure when you're taking things out of your garden that they are free from insects. Moving on to the cake. This is my cake here, and I've gone for plain white. I've gone plain because I want it to be all about the flowers, but I have gone tall because I like that kind of Regency elegant look to a tall cake. But you don't have to do that. You can go with whatever you want. If you prefer a decorated cake or frosting or buttercream, it's entirely up to you. Now I'm going to show you how we actually are going to stage this. So what I've got here is a white cake board. It's quite a firm one. That's my base. And I've got this. This is a cake separator. I've got this basically instead of Oasis. And we're going to use this to actually make a wreath to put the flowers around. So I've gone for a 2-inch high. You can go taller. You can go whatever you like. It just depends on how big a blooms you're going to put around it. So we need to stick this to our board. Now, if you're going to travel with this cake, I would strongly recommend that you use a glue gun. But because we're just here and I'm not taking this cake anywhere, I'm actually just using royal icing. So just take a bit of royal icing, put it onto your board, and then just place the separator. Oh, I put a little bit too much on there. Don't want it there. Place the separator on top of it and just stick that down. Right, like so. Now I'm going to put my cake on here just for a second, just to show you something. As you can see, I've also tied this beautiful ribbon around it. I'll go through the ribbon with you later, but just place it on. So the idea is that we are going to make a wreath, like I said, all around here. And that's kind of the look we're going to go for. But to do that, I actually don't want the cake here. So I'm going to move the cake out the way, and I'm going to bring in the equipment I need to start on the flowers. I'm going to be using some 26 gauge florist wire, and I've also got some florist tape here. You will need a good pair of scissors, and what would be really helpful as well is if you had a pair of tweezers, nice long ones ideally. So what I'm going to show you to start off with is some little posies of flowers. Now these, I've sort of made some already and I've got them here. And aren't they beautiful? Do you know what? I like them because they look like little buttonholes that you get at weddings. So I'm going to start off by showing you how to make a couple of these. Right, so let me just grab my scissors. Now, I have got such an array of flowers around me here, but you need to have like the smaller flowers because these are like our filler flowers. So I'm going to take some, what shall I have? I'll take some rosemary. You just want short pieces. And I'm going to take some of my lavender here. And actually, I'm just going to start off with them two to start with. Yeah, just them two. So I'll just strip off a little bit of the base of the rosemary there. Just get rid of sort of leaves that are at the bottom. Right. Now take a piece of wire, and what you do is you just put that together like that, and then you take some wire and you just wrap it around the bottom just to secure them together. But you want enough wire sticking out so you can actually still poke it into the polystyrene like so. So that's one. Now, let me show you another example. So let's take a lovely one of these, and I'll be honest, I don't know what it's called, but I really like it. It's very pretty. And then with that one, I'm going to take some greenery from over here. I'm going to make this one a little bit thicker. You can have some bigger ones if you like. So I'm going to add that and a little bit more from here. And now this one's quite nice. Right. So these, if we put these together like that, that's quite pretty, isn't it? Okay, so more wire. Same again, really. So what you're doing is you're just wrapping and securing it. Now I'm not going to use this, but I wanted to show you it in case you wanted to use it. And this is the florist tape. If you want, you can take some florist tape and you can wrap it around. It's two reasons. One is if you feel they're not quite secure, maybe one's sort of a little bit wobbly. And the other is if you just want to hide your wires. But I'm not, because I know that you're not going to see the wires. But if you do want to use a florist tape, you just want to wrap it round like that. Now, we're going to put these sort of in here, but slightly at an angle. So looking at this, I think I need to make about 20 of these. And so far, I've got about 9. So I'm just going to crack on. Okay, that's them done. I think I've made enough, but I'll know more once I actually start to make them into the wreath. Before I do that, though, I've got a little idea that I want to show you. And this is just a way of making them sort of next level opulence and real Bridgerton kind of style. Take one of your little posies. And what I've got here is some edible dust in gold. And I've got some spritz here as well, some nice spritz. So I just think it looks really nice if you spritz, look at that, right in the inside of that. I mean, how gorgeous does that look? It's lovely. So spritz is a really nice idea. So there's one, and let me show you the dust. So this is actually quite nice for the leaves. So let me find one that's got a nice leaf on it. There we go. So here I've got a brush and a nice leaf, and look, you can just brush it. Literally, gold leaf. Look at that. How nice is that? So just do that on a few of them if you like, just for that next level of Regency look. Okay, right. Now let's actually start to make the wreath. So what we want to do here is place them in, but the way you want to do it is you don't want to go in sort of straight in. You want to go in on the side, and that's because you get maximum coverage around your polystyrene separator. So you get your piece of wire here and you literally just stick it in. You could stick it down below, in the middle, up high. It just depends on where you want the angles to go. So that's all you do is you just stick it in. Now you should be able to place it straight in, but the reason I said about the tweezers earlier, sometimes they can be a little bit fiddly. So just mix and match. And now I'm moving on to, let's have a look, this one with the lavender. So I'm going to stick that one in. So I'm going along. It is literally like making a wreath. And the other thing I need to tell you is a bit like buttonholes for weddings. These are obviously not in water. So you need to do these actually on the day of when the cake will be assembled. So all you do is you just keep going around and placing them in at a slight angle until you've got them around the entire piece of polystyrene. Right, now that is all 20 in, and I would say that I do have enough there. Now, what I need to do is bring in my cake and place this on the centre, like so. Just make sure you have it nice and centralised, which it isn't, so just bear with me. Okay, yep, I think that is. Right, now the cake's on. The reason for putting the cake on is because I want to put some bigger flowers in there now. So I've got some here. These are just sort of flower heads, which I'm going to sort of place in. So take a nice flower. They're just slightly bigger, and you want to wire them. Exactly the same. So what you're doing is you're just taking your wire and wrapping it round until you've just got a little bit of wire at the end there. And the reason for putting the cake on is so you can actually now start to place flowers in it where they're sort of going up and over the board a little bit. So let's take one here, for example, and place that one in. That's a bit bigger. So you just pop it in. And actually, it's at this point where you might need your tweezers because you can't really get your fingers in quite so easily. So if you do need your tweezers, they're quite useful. So these are so pretty. These are alströmerias. I love these. So let's put one of these in. Put one of these over here. There we go. Just get the tweezers on that and just poke that in nicely. So look at that. It just sits really pretty. And I want to show you a really good tip. So these roses, these look lovely, but they can look better. And what you do is you just take a brush and look, you can actually take a brush and you can actually tease these petals out like that. Look at that. And that way you actually get a bigger flower. So you get more for your money because you get a bigger flower. So I'm just going to tease that out. There we go. Like that. How good is that? Right, and that one's already wired. So I'm going to poke that one in. And what you do is just keep going all the way around with your bigger flowers. And essentially what you're looking for is not to be able to see the polystyrene and have it so it's this beautiful big full wreath. So I'm just going to keep going now until I've gone all the way around. Okay, right, I think that is done. Let's have a look. Oh, how pretty is that? I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so the bottom is done. Now, moving on to working on this top bit. When you attach flowers onto a cake, you can't actually put the flowers directly into the cake. So you have to use these. These are food safe flower picks. They're really good because you can have them in all different sizes. Now, I've got these ones here which are really wide, and it's because I want to put a lot of flowers on my cake. And I've already put them in, so I've just placed them in and it's flush to the top. And as you can see, I put 3 in. And again, the reason for 3 is purely just because I want to put a lot of flowers on the cake. Right, so now let's get going with putting these on. So I've got an array of flowers here. Now what I've done is I've already taken them off out of the water and just dried them. Don't want any water near the cake. So just dry the stems with a little bit of kitchen towel. And you will have to excuse me because I'm going to have to turn this around because obviously I need to see what I'm doing. But I will keep turning it back again periodically so you can see. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to have this at the front. I do not pretend to be any kind of florist, okay? So this is going to be just exactly how I like it, and it's going to be a little bit wild and a little bit natural. So, I mean, you can't really go wrong here. What I'm going to do is just place flowers on the cake. But before I start, I just want to show you something. So, you know, earlier when we were putting all the little flowers around the side, well, I want to do something similar on the top as well. So same again, so we can sort of wire them. So I've got a little range of flowers here, slightly bigger, slightly longer because we're having a big display here. And the same again, so just take a piece of wire and just wrap it around like that. Like so. So there you are, nicely attached. So I've got a few of them, a few little bunches of flowers, as well as my sort of stems. Now, these are my real showstoppers here. I mean, how beautiful is this peony? So I'm going to start off by putting my real big showstopper ones in. So, oh, I've got this gorgeous rose here. I love that one. So I think I might put that one there. And I'm just placing them in. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just playing just to see what I like. So there's a little bit of height to them. As you can see, there's a bit of a gap underneath because obviously I'm going to fill them. So at the moment, I'm just popping them in at different heights. So that one, let's have a look. Quite like that one at the back because it's high. Yeah, so again, can you see that one's quite high? So again, I can now start to fill. So what have we got here then? Let's get some of our ones that are wired then. And start to place them in as well. Like that. And you're just fiddling. That's all you're doing. You're just placing them in. And these are lovely. These are chrysanthemums, and I like them because then they really fill it up. Okay, but I'm going to move that peony because I'm not happy with that. So what else have we got? Now these are lovely. These are freesias, and these are nice because you can get a bit of height with these at the back. So I'll just snip that off. Let's look what we got here. Yeah, looking nice. So that's all I'm doing, just keeping going with a few of the wired ones. You get a bit more control over the wired ones because obviously you've created a little posy in itself. When I love them because you can actually have a little bit of droopiness to them coming over the cake. Right, so let me show you. I'm not finished yet, so ignore that top peony. That top peony doesn't look quite right. But look at that. How pretty is that? The way that it just kind of flows over. Right, so I'm just going to keep going until I'm happy. Right. Okay. That looks amazing. And I'm really, really happy with that. So I'm going to spin it round and show you. But another thing, like remember earlier I told you about the gold. So I've got the spritz again. So look, I'm just going to spin this and spritz the flowers as I go around. Pop it. Oh, look at that. Look at that bit of gold in there. Doesn't that look beautiful? I love it. Oh, I absolutely love it. So I would say that is it finished. What a masterpiece. And look, let me just, got to get my bow right, haven't I? Let me get my bow right. There we go. There we are. That's nice, isn't it? Now that is it. How beautiful is that? And that would just look stunning in the middle of a table or a centerpiece of your Bridgerton-themed celebration. I really hope that you enjoyed watching it as much as I liked making it. And of course, if you did, have a go and subscribe to our channel so you can see all the other videos that we've got coming up.